Every single living thing, from you and me to that plant sitting on your windowsill, is constantly in a kind of conversation with its environment. It's this silent, super high stakes dialogue that literally determines who survives. So, what are the systems that make this whole conversation possible? Well, let's dive in and find out.
First, we're going to start with a reflex that's so fast your brain doesn't even have time to catch up. Then, we'll get into why this ability to respond is so critical for, well, all life. After that, we'll take a peek inside the command centers that run the show in animals, and then, this is cool, we'll uncover the secret, deliberate movements of plants. And finally, we'll tie it all together in what I like to call the great conversation of life.
All right, let's kick things off with something I guarantee we've all experienced. Just picture this. You're in the kitchen, maybe making some coffee, and you accidentally touch a scorching hot pan. Your hand just jerks back, right? Instantly. It's this automatic, lightning-fast action that happens before your brain even has a chance to go, ouch, that's hot. So what on earth is going on there? It's not magic. It's an incredible piece of biological wiring at work. Okay, so it all begins with something called a stimulus. A stimulus is just any change in your world that you can detect. In our example, that searing heat from the pan, that's the stimulus. It's the trigger that kicks this whole process off. And for every stimulus, there has to be a response. That's pretty straightforward, right? It's the action your body takes. So your hand yanking away from the heat? Yep, that's the response. It's the reaction to the info your body just got. But here's the key question. How does the stimulus lead to the right response? I mean, you want to pull your hand away, not push it down harder. Well, that's where coordination comes in. It's the amazing high-speed system that makes sure all the right parts of your body work together perfectly. Think of it like the director of a play, yelling at the right actor to get off the stage before they get hurt. So, we've seen what happens in that split second, but let's talk about the why. Why is this ability to respond so absolutely crucial? Turns out it's not just some neat party trick your body can do. It is fundamental to being alive. Really, it all boils down to the 4 essentials of life. It's about pure survival, detecting a predator and running away. It's about adaptation, adjusting to find food or shelter when things change. On the inside, it's about keeping everything stable and balanced, a state we call homeostasis. And of course, it's all for reproduction, finding a mate, or for a plant, growing towards the light so it can thrive. This whole stimulus response thing is woven into the very fabric of existence. Okay, so how do animals manage all of this complex stuff? Well, they've got 2 incredible command and control systems working in tandem. One is built for speed, and the other is built for the long haul. Let's go back to that hot pan for a second. What's happening there is a perfect example of the reflex arc. The heat, the stimulus, is detected by receptors in your skin. They shoot a signal, but here's the cool part. It goes straight to your spinal cord, completely bypassing the brain for maximum speed. Your spinal cord then immediately orders your muscles, the effectors, to contract, and boom, your hand pulls away. That's the response. It's a vital shortcut that saves precious milliseconds when it counts. Now that reflex arc is all thanks to the nervous system. This is your first command center. Think of it like sending an instant message or a text. It uses super fast electrical impulses for immediate short-term actions. The other system is the endocrine system. This one is more like sending a letter through the mail. It uses chemical messengers called hormones that travel through your bloodstream. It's way slower, but it's perfect for managing long-term things like growth or metabolism. Okay, so that's animals covered. But what about plants? They can't run away from a threat or go looking for food. You might think they're just kind of passive, just sitting there, but you would be so wrong. They're responding to their world constantly, just in these silent, deliberate ways. And here is the single biggest difference, and it's huge. Plants have no nervous system, no brain, no spinal cord, no nerves at all. Their entire coordination system is chemical. They rely completely on hormones to send messages, control how they grow, and react to everything around them. Their main strategy is something we call tropisms. That just means directional growth in response to some kind of stimulus. So as you can see here, phototropism is why a plant's shoots always seem to find the sunlight. Geotropism is why its roots always grow down, thanks to gravity. And hydrotropism, that sends those roots on a mission to find water. Each one is a slow, calculated move, guided by the world around it. But wait, it gets better. Not all plant movements happen at a snail's pace. Some are shockingly fast.
The classic example is the mimosa plant, which you might know as the touch-me-not. When you touch its leaves, they fold up almost instantly. Now, this isn't growth, it's a totally different thing called a nastic movement. This kind of response isn't driven by slow-acting hormones. Instead, it's caused by a super fast change in water pressure inside the plant's cells. It's a temporary defense mechanism, and it just goes to show you that plants have way more tricks up their sleeves than we give them credit for. So, let's tie all of this together. We've seen the lightning-fast reflexes in animals, and we've seen the slow, deliberate growth of plants, and even their quick defensive moves. These are two really different strategies, right? But they're both part of the same grand idea, the great conversation. What this all means is that to be alive is to respond. It's that simple. From the twitch of your muscle pulling away from heat to the slow turn of a sunflower tracking the sun across the sky, every single living organism is in a constant, dynamic dance with its environment. This sensitivity isn't just a neat feature of life, it's the definition of it. And that leaves us with one final thought. We tend to look at plants or other simple organisms as passive, maybe even unthinking things. But now that you know they are constantly listening, reacting, and strategizing to survive, how does that change the way you see the world around you? It kind of reveals a world that is far more active and way more alive than we ever imagined.